The House of Representatives voted no on a war resolution to end Donald Trump's illegal attacks on Iran. Speaker Mike Johnson says the war powers resolution was unnecessary because this is not a war. He said the last thing our commander-in-chief needs during not wartime is a Congress that kneecaps him when he's waging not war. The Senate took up a war powers resolution introduced by Kentucky Republican Senator Ron Paul, who is opposing these attacks on Iran, and it was co-sponsored by Virginia Democrat Senator Tim Kaine. It went down to defeat on Wednesday, 47-53. The only Republican who voted in favor was Ron Paul, who co-authored the resolution. The only Democrat voting against it was Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman, who is not doing well. He's not well. New polling shows only 1 in 4 Americans support Trump's attacks on Iran. Another poll shows only 16% of Americans support sending ground troops into Iran. For the first time since the attacks began, Trump has tried to clarify what his end game is. He's given about 20 interviews, and what we can ascertain is he wants to destroy Iran's missile capabilities, destroy the Navy, destroy Iran's air defenses, destroy their nuclear weapons program, and stop it from arming regional actors who are fighting proxy wars in Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, and Yemen. That seems to be, if you listen to his interviews, that seems to be what this is about. At least this hour, that's what it's about. Despite key attacks on the Iranian Navy, the Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of the world's oil must pass, is now closed. That's why the average price of gasoline is now $3.20 a gallon. It jumped 22 cents a gallon in 1 week. Some are saying we should expect the cost of gasoline to increase by another 30 cents a gallon in the next 2 weeks. Economists warn the global supply chain, not just oil, but the entire global supply chain has been interrupted by Trump's illegal attacks on Iran. Airspace over the Middle East is pretty much shut down, and that airspace makes up 13% of all global air cargo. So if air cargo can't fly, and that means there are supply chain disruptions, and that means inflation. Remember COVID? Remember that? The stock market, since the attack, has erased much of its gain for the year. But you know who's doing well? Defense companies. They are skyrocketing because Israel, Persian Gulf states, and America, they're running out of munitions. There were reports in the Washington Post that Persian Gulf nations are telling the Pentagon they are all out of defensive weapons, which are very expensive. And Iran is fighting an asymmetrical war. Iran is firing suicide drones, which cost about $20,000, $30,000 to make. And the United States, Israel, and Persian Gulf allies are shooting these drones out of the sky, often with missiles that cost like $1 million each. It's asymmetrical. Pete Hegseth, the white Christian nationalist Secretary of Defense, told reporters Thursday the United States has enough weapons to continue the war as long as Trump wants. He said, what did he say? Iran is hoping that we cannot sustain this, which is a really bad miscalculation. Our munitions are full up and our will is ironclad, which means our timeline is hours to control. That sounds good, right? It sounds good. It's like, John Wayne talk. It's how you get people killed talking like that. The Pentagon claims U.S. and Israeli airstrikes have eliminated 86% of Iran's ballistic missiles, as well as 73% of their drones. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer at first refused to allow the United States to use British air bases to launch attacks on Iran. He said he's concerned that America has not explained what the endgame is. He told Parliament this week regime change can't be accomplished without boots on the ground. And with 12% of Americans saying they support boots on the ground, I don't see how Trump is going to do this. I've been telling listeners for years, wars are not won from above. You can destroy things, but you can't win a war just by bombing. You have to go in there. We are seeing naval battles not witnessed since World War II. This as Iran fired missiles on Turkey, forcing NATO to knock it out of the sky. So NATO is not involved, but I think it's Article 5 of the NATO treaty. An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us, and Iran launched a missile into Turkey. NATO knocked it out of the sky. NATO Secretary General warned that Iran is now becoming a direct threat to the rest of Europe because it just attacked Turkey. Turkey is a NATO nation, and an attack on one is an attack on all. The NATO Secretary General said he was pleased that NATO air defenses were able to knock the Iranian missile out of the sky before it did any damage in Turkey. Trump saying, we won't stop until the Iranian Air Force, its air defenses, and its entire Navy are completely destroyed. He said, I'm calling for total demolition. Sounds good, doesn't it? Makes me feel strong to hear a president lie to me that way. At the time of this show, the humanitarian death toll inside Iran is estimated to be 1,230. The Pentagon confirmed it's on the brink of sinking the entire Iranian Navy. Well, why is the Strait of Hormuz closed? The Soleimani, an Iranian submarine, was destroyed by an American submarine in the Indian Ocean. This marks the first time an American submarine in combat destroyed another submarine since World War II. The Soleimani was named after Qasem Soleimani, Iran's most beloved general, who Trump assassinated in January of 2020. Hegseth celebrated after the submarine was destroyed. He said, Trump got Soleimani twice, I guess, unquote. Good. Nice. 87 Iranian sailors were killed in international waters off the coast of Sri Lanka after a U.S. submarine torpedoed the Iris Dena, an Iranian warship. The Pentagon says U.S. drones took out an Iranian drone carrier said to be the size of a World War II-era aircraft carrier. The Trump administration is reaching out to Kurds in Western Iran. They're in Western Iran, right? Please leave a comment if I'm getting this wrong. It's Western. Yeah, I think they're in Western. Yeah. The Trump administration is reaching out to Kurds in Western Iran and in Iraq, urging them to join the United States and Israel in their fight against Iran. Trump has reportedly signaled to Kurdish leaders they have to choose. Pick a side, said Trump. You're either with America and Israel or you're with Iran. So in anticipation of a ground invasion by Iraqi Kurds, Iran launched missile and drone attacks inside Iraq's Kurdish region. Shanaz Ibrahim Ahmed is the wife of Iraqi President Abdul Latif Rashid. She is from a prominent Kurdish family in Iraq, and she lashed out at the Trump administration for trying to recruit Kurdish fighters in the war in Iran. She said, Kurds are not mercenaries. We're not guns for hire. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi complained that every time Iran tries to negotiate with Trump, the talks stop and America attacks. The president of Azerbaijan, which neighbors Iran, is demanding an apology after Iranian drones struck his country. Iran's president, Masoud Pezeshkian, who took office, I believe, in 2024, right? Israel and the United States failed to eliminate him. They've been bombing the presidential palace. He warned he is duty-bound to keep Iran intact and will fight any separatist activity. Ali Larijani, he is secretary of the Supreme National Security Council for Iran. He said that Iranian forces are, quote, waiting for a U.S. ground invasion. He promises Iranian troops will disgrace U.S. officials by capturing and killing thousands of Americans. He warned the land of Iran is no place for the servants of hell. With the killing of the Ayatollah Khamenei, there's talk that his son, Mojtaba, could be the heir apparent, but Trump told reporters, it's up to me who becomes the new Ayatollah, and that he wants to be consulted in picking the new leader. Trump said, I have to be involved. He called Khamenei's son, quote, a lightweight who won't bring peace and harmony to Iran the way Trump has. Trump is reliant on a State Department that has cut thousands of jobs. It's threadbare. The United States has yet to confirm ambassadors to Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, Lebanon, Jordan, and Qatar, but Trump says, I don't need ambassadors. I'm smart. And I got Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff. Not only that, you got Pete Hegseth saying of the Iranians, they are toast, and they know it. Yeah.